let's look at some more important vocabulary when we're looking at three-dimensional figures. Okay, so the first one is a prism. Okay, now a prism is formed by two parallel, congruent, polygonal faces that are called bases. Okay, so again, you have to just sort of apologize my rhyme here, but these faces are called bases, right? So if you look over at this particular figure, you can see that the bases here are kind of are in red. Okay, now these are these parallel, congruent polygons that we call the bases, right? So I'm just going to outline them more in red. Okay, now these faces, okay, or these bases are connected by these parallelograms here. Okay, so here's one of the parallelograms, okay, that connects the bases. Okay, here's one of them, right? The other one would be considered right here, okay, that actually connects these bases, okay, and the other one would be right here. Okay, so there's actually three of them there. Okay, so again, this is an example of a prism. Okay, again, it's formed by two parallel, congruent, polygonal faces. Okay, now the next one we have to look over is a cylinder. Okay, now, you know, it's in some ways, I guess it's very, very similar to a prism. Okay, but this time now the bases are circular. Okay, so again, it's formed by two parallel, congruent, circular bases. Okay, and there's a curved surface. Okay, so again, a curved surface that connects these bases. Right, so again, this time our bases are circular. Right, so we can see them here that are sort of outlined in blue. Okay, and what connects them? Okay, what connects these bases again is this curved surface. Okay, because it's going to actually wrap around these particular circles. Okay, so again, pretty similar so far, or pretty simple, I should say. It's again a prism and a cylinder. All right, let's look at a couple more here. Okay, the next one that we have to know is a pyramid. Okay, now again, I think a lot of us know what pyramids are. I don't know, from studying like Egypt and stuff like that. All right, but a pyramid is formed by one polygonal base. Okay, a polygonal base, right? That's singular. That's just one polygonal base. So this is our base in this case. Is going to be right here. Okay, now it also has these triangular faces. Okay, and again, these faces would be right here. Okay, so here's one of the triangular faces. Okay, here's another one of the triangular faces, and the last triangular face would be right here. Okay, now they meet at this common vertex, right? So this common point right at the top. Okay, so again, a pyramid, it's formed by a polygonal base and triangular faces that meet at that common point or that common vertex. Okay, and the very last piece of vocabulary that we want to understand, and again, something that I think a lot of us sort of have some prerequisite knowledge on, but it's that a cone, it's formed by a circular base. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and switch colors here. Okay, so a cone is formed by a circular base. So the circular base, I'm just going to sort of fill in purple here. Okay, and a curved surface goes around the base and connects it to its vertex. All right, so again, this curved surface would be kind of this surface right here that I'm outlining in red. Okay, and it goes all the way to this point. Okay, so again, the four words that we really want to be comfortable with, okay, are the four types of three-dimensional figures that we want to be very comfortable with, is just going to be a prism, a cylinder, a pyramid, and a cone. All right, now these are going to help us actually define all sorts of different types of figures that we're going to look at on our next page here. Now, a cube is something that we are all very familiar with. Now, that's just a prism with 6 square faces. Okay, you think about rolling dice, right? Those are 2 cubes that you're rolling. Okay, other prisms and pyramids are named for the shape of their bases. Okay, so I'm going to circle this part because it's really important. Okay, other pyramids and prisms are named for the shape of their bases. Let's look at this example. So if you look at a triangular prism, okay, well, triangular prism, here are our triangle bases that are parallel. Okay, so again, that's a triangular prism because it's a prism and its base is a triangle. Right? Now we look at rectangular prism. Okay, you guessed it. The base for this prism is going to be rectangular. Right? We can tell that it's a prism because it's got this parallel opposite face, okay, and these two faces are opposite of each other and they're parallel. So again, that's an example of a prism. Okay, now the next one, pentagonal prism, right? Well, pentagon, right, we know that that has 5 sides, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? We notice that the opposite face here is also kind of like a congruent pentagon there, so it's considered a pentagonal prism, 5 sides, okay? And then finally, we have this hexagonal prism, right? Hexagon with these 6 sides, okay? We have the opposite face here is parallel and congruent, okay, and it's also, you know, these bases are connected by all these different parallelograms, right? So again, this falls under our definition for a hexagonal prism, okay? Now looking at some pyramids, right? Same thing, we're going to look at the base, and that's going to help us actually name this, right? So again, triangular pyramid, we look at again, this base is a triangle, okay? And we have all of these faces, these triangular faces that meet at this point, okay? So it's a triangular pyramid, right? A rectangular pyramid, again, its base is a rectangle, and it's got these triangular faces that meet up to this common vertex, right? So that is going to be a rectangular pyramid, okay? And hopefully at this time we kind of get the point, right? We can see, all right, it's pentagonal pyramid. It's got a 5-sided base, okay? And there's these triangles that form, you know, that kind of meet together at this point called the vertex. So it's a pentagonal pyramid, okay? So again, let's just make sure that you understand this important vocabulary before moving on. I would recommend writing it down in a separate notebook, and to just make sure that you can really kind of solidify these particular vocabulary words about geometric solids.